You are listening to Citizen Reporter at citizenreporter.org.
Hello and welcome everyone. This is Mark Fonseca Rendeiro, known to many of you as Bicycle Mark, coming to you from South Africa. At this moment specifically, Cape Town. It's the last 3 hours of my South Africa visit, and I wanted to record a little introduction and also just make some notes in audio format. For those of you who don't know, this is a podcast, and it's been going since 2004, hosted by me, sometimes with my reflections on the world as I travel, but also from home as I reach out to others around the world. And these last few days here in South Africa, I've had one of the most unique and really rewarding experiences I've ever had at a gathering, the Video for Change gathering, which took place outside of Cape Town in a place called Boshendal, which is a vineyard. Now, I'm not a wine person, nor am I a fancy person, let's say, when it comes to where to stay and how to eat. Well, maybe the how to eat part I'm fancy. But anyway, this gathering, although it was in a place of incredible beauty and privilege, it gathered people who live perhaps in some ways on the opposite end, not in a position of privilege, but in fact in a struggle, but who also have this rich and incredibly vibrant culture. I'm talking about Indigenous groups from all over this continent and beyond, actually. And the discussion was about what people's communities are going through. And we use the term going through because so many of these communities are under threat. Not just under threat, they're, as we speak, being pushed, evicted, harmed, beaten, arrested, harassed, cheated, often out of their, not just their lands, but also their identity, and being forced into other identities, other places that make it very hard to survive, make it very hard to stay who they are, live how they want to live, and have lived since the beginning of time. So it's been an incredible gathering with a lot of positive elements, despite the fact that much of the surrounding details are sad or are frustrating. There was this incredible love and energy. And so what I decided to do was, of course, record with people, ask them about who they are, or ask them about how they identify themselves in this era of identity and the complexity or struggle to keep your identity or to be who you are even. And also to ask them about what they are living in their communities, what their neighbors and family members and friends are experiencing, and also how are we all involved in that? We, the people of this planet, whether we're indigenous or not, how are we involved in this situation we've created? Someone created this, many someones, we should say. And it's been so interesting and also so much fun. I know it may be strange to say it's been fun to talk to people about their struggle, but there is something when people come together. There is something, some people call it love, some people call it joy, human connection, it certainly is. And I haven't laughed so much, I haven't felt so warm, especially among people I've just met over the course of a few days, in a long time, and maybe never like this. So the following recording I dedicate to all my friends from the V4C gathering. It was really special, and this is a person telling you something was special. I am a cynic I am a cold heart because I've been to so many gatherings in my life, and I've seen a lot of beauty. I've been lucky enough to see a lot of beauty in my life, and yet this causes me to stop. This causes me to really... It shook me at my core in a really good way. So I'm leaving Cape Town in a few hours, but I give you this recording, and I do so with the utmost admiration, respect, and yes, love for my new friends. And I hope that it's fun and interesting, and I hope you get something from listening to this, those of us who were there and those of us who weren't, all of you out there in the world, because that's also who we want to talk to, who we wish could have been with us. But that's not how this works, human connection. We need to go slow, we need to go small. Okay, I'm going to head out to the airport, but I leave you with the sounds of the V4C gathering in South Africa 2019. Catch you on the other side.
Sunday night, including with a little sound system, so if you have some tunes and things like that, you can bring them to me at some point. And we can DJ, we can dance with the drums, we can swim as well. I swam yesterday, it's really nice. Be careful, it's very slippery to get in, but it's very beautiful in there. You can swim if you want to.
How long will that dance run for? Early morning or?
All night, yeah. Sunday all night. All night.
We went in the whole night.
So last night, so yeah. We can have a fire, we can have a fire as well. Indigenous peoples, particularly across Africa, feel very isolated and disconnected from one another because of the colonial boundaries and nation states, and often their territories are quite hard to get to. You know, the connectivity is very poor, and yet they share many of the same struggles.
I remember those times when I was in school, and I go to all the way to, in a small town for my secondary education or primary education. When I go home, I cannot find my home. They have already moved. It's that remote. You go to another village, they say, oh, last season they were here. I think they have migrated far away, and you keep walking. Yeah.
So Masa is actually a part and parcel of the ecosystem, because we were there before the conservation model, conservation idea, modern conservation laws, modern conservation approaches came into being.
Our struggle is land right tenure systems, whereby we can own our land, manage and use it sustainably. So the issue now is post-full eviction that prevents us to own that land, and the policies that come and are met.
Displacement is very violent because it strips you of everything that you are. Being forcibly removed, you live your people that you've buried. For example, for us, home is not just, or land is not just geography. It's spiritual, because you bury your loved ones there.
Finally, the government, he didn't like it, I don't know, and he closed my organization. Stop this festival, he said, and I try, even I fight, I go to the court.
We were labeled primitive. Our way of doing things was actually something to be ashamed of, and that has been alive till today.
We have in our area, the government entered into an agreement with the royal family from Dubai to do the hunting of wildlife in our villages.
They've all been isolated. They've all been working in their own little things, and this is an opportunity for them to see themselves as a collective, as a Pan-African collective.
So everything we do in SiteShare is genuinely led by
our partners on the ground, the communities we work with, they tell us, we listen and they tell us what they want us to do, and we play a role in that, but we're equal partners.
This knowledge has been passed from generation to generation, and they know how to graze it and how to live within the environment. But the development has come in.
What the colonial did is they made sure that they detach the land from people.
Yeah.
They detach the land from culture, so they made a law on land alone as a standalone object.
Yeah.
So that you can. We've been fighting for land right, not fighting for the common good, not fighting for the culture. We talk about land because they've been successfully detached it from. So we now want to go back to heal our wounds and to see how we can reconnect with nature.
This is really, to me, a big lesson. This democracy, this politics, it must be mixed with the indigenous people.
For us, I think we really need to go back to the essence of who we are and celebrate that there are different ways of knowing, there are different philosophies. There's African indigenous knowledge systems as well, and that needs to be incorporated as well in our health, in our education. And for us, we need to realize that we've got something to add to the world instead of just saying, okay, we'll take this, what we've been given.
We are going to go extinct. Yeah. And the only solution is to go back to the indigenous way of life.
You can't separate nature from people, and they know how to use it sustainably. Unlike this forest conservation, whereby you get people out of their land. You go to Emaput Forest now, it used to be so nice, so conserved when communities were still having their cultural systems of managing this land. But go there now, they are still pumping money, millions of money, but the forest is being destroyed. Human rights violations has increased much.
And through that process, then eventually the issues rise up, coming from within, and the solutions too.
During that time, when we started taking the camera to them, it was it was a dream, because they never thought of even holding it. Yeah. It was something that it is unbelievable. But when they started using, it was easy, and they enjoy using it, and they can see that in the future they can comfortably use the camera to fight or to speak their voices which are unheard.
What I have discovered as a result of meeting members from other groups which are also struggling is that PALCA, or this alliance, would not have been more timely.
But when now I'm holding a camera, I can go to the interior places, I can go to the remote places, I can go to places where other people have never gone, so that I can expose what is happening there that need to be changed and need to be exposed to the world.
Without uniting and having one united space, without having a space where we can come together, exchange experiences and strategies on how to address these challenges, it will be very difficult for each group to struggle on its own.
But we are part of the Earth community, and while our brothers and sisters, our brothers with 2 wings and our sisters with 4 legs may not be able to articulate, and we should be the ones. I am so passionate about that. We should be the ones articulating on their behalf. We should be the ones articulating on behalf of the mountains and the rivers and the oceans, and therefore being an integral part and seeing our ancestral connection to them. For in some sense they are our ancestors as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, the power of voice.